You're listening to the Practical Wealth Show with Curtis May, putting you in the driver's seat to control your finances. Let's start the Practical Wealth Talk about alternatives to Wall Street.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Practical Wealth Show. And I'm very excited to have a special guest, Miss Janice Coleman. And let me give you a little bit of her bio. Janice is the president and CEO of Janice Coleman Corporation, and a company which mission is to assist both corporations and individuals achieve their goals by maximizing the human resource potential through mind, heart, and soul stirring keynotes. Okay, so she speaks from the stage, training, and professional career services. They prepare people to perform. And so she has built a dynamic reputation for expertise and ability to provide her clients and audiences with a compelling edge in the marketplace. So she's been doing this over 25 years. She helps people to live out loud, play full out, and be invincible in their space. So we're going to talk about this at the end. She's got an exciting conference coming up. By the time the show comes out, this will be the following week. So you'll have time to get here to, if you're near Philadelphia land, to come. Janice, say hi to my listeners out there.
Hi, listeners out there.
All
Good
right.
morning. How are you?
Yeah, we are doing great, and we're happy to have you. So, Janice, what didn't I say? What fill us in and tell a little bit about how you help really individuals and corporations develop themselves.
Okay. Well, Curtis, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the invitation to be on the Practical Wealth Show. It's exciting to me because I think that a lot of everything that we do rolls up into where our wealth sits.
Yes.
And so on a lot of different fronts, we have to know that everything is impacting, sort of like in physics, the law of equal and opposite reaction.
Yes.
So for every action, something's going to happen. And so what didn't you say? I'm a Philadelphia girl, born and raised.
All right. Me too.
And I know that's not
Philly
necessarily in the bio. Yeah, Philly
Right.
in the house. Exactly. Excited about the opportunity to share with your audience. I have been in several different industries. I started in information technology as a young person, in my 20s, and then transitioned into education and training, where I have been for approximately 20 years, during which time I have worked with people from the classroom to the boardroom, helping them to be everything they've been designed to be, and to look at their work life and look at their professional life in an integrated way, that they don't see the work person and then they see the home person, and then somewhere in between there's this disparity that causes this, frustration. So as you mentioned, I do help people to live out loud, play full out, and be invincible in their space. And everybody has a space. And so I can't be in your space, Curtis. I can't be in that finance space.
Right.
You may not be able to be in the career management, help people to find the job they love and find the job that loves them space at length, because we all have a space. It's just my hope and desire that as I move into the marketplace, and if I'm talking to students, sometimes as a matter of fact, this coming week, 2 days prior to the actual airing of this show, I will be at Norristown High School.
Okay.
Working with during a teacher training. And so I'll be there. And then in January, I'll be back there talking to their students. But so I get the opportunity to talk to students, which is the best place to be if you're going to get us before we get started.
Right. Exactly. So you come into it thinking right, and helping them not get all the baggage they will start to accumulate.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I help. So I love being in that space. I love having the opportunity to talk to students, and so I do that as often as I can. And then also in the corporate world, whether I'm in a training mode or an executive coaching mode or in a business owner leadership coaching role.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy helping in that space because it impacts not only the leader, but the people that they lead.
One of the things that, and I always try to tell people the theme of the show, right? So we talk about, the money for life process that we talk to people about is get money, bank it, borrow it, spend it, repay it. So we tell a whole process of how to run your personal economy. So this falls under get money because your number one asset, I always remind people when we do our show, is you. Right. And
Yes.
so you've got to invest in your mindset, your skill set, and your network. That is what will determine your revenue more than anything else. And there's no investment product outside of your investing in yourself that will take you to glory. So understand that.
Absolutely.
And so that's where that's the space that we're talking in. How do you grow you? How do you professionally, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're entrepreneuring in corporate America? I think that, people are miserable. They're stuck. They don't know how to negotiate their salaries. They don't know where they're at. They're worried about getting laid off, all that kind of stuff. But you always got to focus on how can I create more value in the market?
Right.
Because that is what determines your
income. Well, you're absolutely right. When I'm working with people, a part of what I do is in the career management space, and then part of what I do is in the professional development space, and they're kind of intermixed. Yet, when I'm talking to people, I agree with you 100%. One of your biggest assets is your ability to generate resources, to generate income.
Absolutely.
And so therefore you have to be in that space of innovation, even in that world, because if you are not on the leading edge of what's happening in your industry, you will look down and you look up and your industry's either changed so dramatically you don't fit, or your industry is gone.
So true.
And so it behooves everybody who's listening today, and even for them to tell their friends and family, that you always have to know what's going on in your industry. There's no longer this day where you check in and check out of a job and just go in at 9 and clock in and then leave out at 5 and clock out and expect that job, that industry, that business, that corporation is going to be the same the next day.
Right. And you're going to make more money just because you've been there a long time.
And that's not true.
That's not true. And you don't deserve to make more money because you had tenure. I mean, that's not how the world works. You have to continually create more value. And people, it's like, Janice, it's like pulling teeth to get people to read a book. They haven't read a book since college, personal development, or attending conferences.
Exactly.
You should have I set investment goals of how much money I'm going to spend on investing on my number one asset, Curtis, in the year. I'm mapping out what conferences I'm going to as we speak.
Absolutely.
And that's
absolutely. And you're going to the conference on the 16th of November, right? But you won't be sitting in the audience, but you'll be there.
I'm speaking there, right? And then, but I will be there. I guarantee you, I will have a notepad full of notes. And
absolutely. Because when you get into any environment, there has to be some kind of value that you're going to get from that's going to increase your human potential.
That's right.
Because if I'm spending an hour in front of you, or if I'm spending 4 hours, half a day, or if I'm spending, 2 days or a weekend, and I don't get any value and all I get is a rah-rah system bot, that was a waste of time.
Absolutely.
That was a waste of time. That actually is an expense that you could have foregone.
What are a couple of things that, as you coach people, that they're not doing, that are asleep at the wheel, so to speak, that they could be doing, that you help kind of awake them to that fact and maybe help them move towards?
Well, one of the things, and I have to keep track of this now. Number one is that I seek to help people to understand who they have become in the process of their doing. And what I mean by that is when someone comes to me and they're in career transition. Maybe they've lost their job or they're seeking to find a better job for whatever reason. And I begin to talk to them. I help them to mine out of themselves who they have become in the process of their employment, in their professional life.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time, if we're working on a resume, by the time we're done, so many of my clients, whether they are high level, professionals, they've been in their industry for a long time, in IT or in engineering, whatever the case may be, or in customer service, or a student coming right out of school. When we look at their resume after we've worked on it, they say, oh my God, who is that person?
Right.
Because we're in the midst of doing and we don't realize who we are becoming.
That's such a good point. They take for granted, because you think of your job description. And a lot of times I'll ask clients, so what skills do you use to make money? Because I want them to understand you're not your job description. You have things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's the first thing, or that's one of the things that I do. Mm-hmm. And then the second thing is I help people to reach for what they really want. Because a lot of times we have been sold a bag of goods with regard to what we can get.
Right.
Oh, you only have a bachelor's degree, or you don't have a degree at all, or your education or your training is in, I don't know, in economics, mm-hmm. like yourself, but you really want to be in journalism. Why not go for what you want? Figure out how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But set the GPS toward what it is you want, and then work toward getting there. Because there's nothing worse. And I have worked with people, as I mentioned, from the classroom to the boardroom, and a lot of my clients are in that mid-career space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing like being 50 years old and saying, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
Yes.
But it happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
It happens.
Uh-huh.
Because maybe they've been sold a bag of goods that they could never be whatever they really wanted to be. And so they lost the dream, and then they fell into something that was comfortable or practical, or it just made sense, and maybe it made a lot of money.
Right.
And so go for what it is you want, because if you're going to spend most of your time getting ready for work, going to work, being at work, and leaving work, and going home, that time needs to be enjoyable. That time needs to ring a high level of satisfaction for you, so that when you put your head to the pillow at night, you can rest comfortably with a level of, satisfaction that you've done something you really want to do.
Yeah, that's everything. You spend so much time, and it's, which is to your point, it's, what do you want? See, people never ask themselves that. That's kind of early things that I talk to people about, just on a taking it from a financial world. Even when I work with business owners, I say, listen, the financial plan precedes the business plan, because the business is there to create the life that you want to live. And so life is short. What do you want to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And live it. That's why I say I help people to live out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Because the world's waiting to hear them. The world is waiting to hear what you have inside of you. And that might shift the world, because mm-hmm. a lot of us are just not living out loud.
Mm-hmm.
We are living with unfulfilled dreams and hopes and aspirations. But your career should be something that satisfies you, not only delivers a service and delivers value, but you should be satisfied as an individual when you are giving that value. And then the third thing is do it. And that's not a unique thing. Nike's made a big, empire on that. Just do it. What's holding you back? I was speaking with a client, executive coaching client, and she had some aspirations to be an adjunct professor.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what's holding you back? And she gave me a list of all of these different things. And even as she was saying them, her voice began to get lower and lower, because what she realized is she was giving everybody else her power.
Yes, that's right.
And every other situation her power. And she realized that all she had to do was just do it.
So I see now where the passion comes from. So we were talking about this before we started recording, and I didn't realize, I'm not sure if I saw you there. Y'all know that I'm a big fan of Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. He has several great books, but the latest one is Success Secrets of Black Millionaires, that I often quote on this show, right? I didn't realize that you brought him to Philly with George Fraser and SuccessNet. Yes. And so you have been doing that event was awesome. That was, and so
that was packed out.
Oh, it was packed out. He was dynamic. You know, George Fraser's always dynamic, but he really just introduced Dr. Kimbrough with George Fraser's the bomb. So that was a big deal. And so now we have another one from Janice Coleman Productions, right? And not Productions, but you know, it's coming up the 16th.
November the 16th.
November the 16th, called Innovate or Die. And I think that's a perfect outflow from what you just said as individuals. And it also goes back to what should you be investing in? Your mindset, your skill set, and your network. And this is going to give you the ability to invest in all three at the same time.
Absolutely.
So let's tell them.
I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Tell them where did that come from? That's the brainchild of what? And then let's talk about the event a little bit.
Well, it's a brainchild of looking at what's happening in our marketplace and how people and how organizations and how even places are being flattened out if they don't stay relevant with the changes in the marketplace, the changes in the world. And so when you look at organizations like a Blockbuster, and for younger people who are listening in, for those who may be in their late teens, early 20s, they may say, who? And then to that, I'll answer that question would be exactly.
Right. Exactly.
because it was Blockbuster who brought this, big store with all of these DVDs and tapes and all of this stuff. The innovation of
popcorn, whole
popcorn, everything. The innovation. And at that time, see, this is the thing, innovation yesterday may not be the innovation of tomorrow, because innovation is birthed out of a thought, and then a thought brings innovation, and the innovation brings what we call change.
You have to be aware, because they could have bought Netflix.
Yes, that's the whole point. They said nobody will get their DVDs in the mail.
Yes.
That's just impossible. And I believe that I read that Blockbuster just closed their second to last store, which was in Alaska. And then their remaining store is in, I believe, Oregon. So they were all over the world. You couldn't go anywhere, or not the world, but all of the United States. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing, this big blue, Blockbuster banner.
Yeah.
And they put their fingers in their ears with regard to the Netflix idea. So that was what kind of propelled me to look at what innovation does and how we as lay people, if you will, in the marketplace can infuse our own way of being and doing, with the thought that nothing's going to stay the same. And am I going to be the one that's impacted by the change, or am I going to be the one in introducing and infusing the change into the place where I work?
Right.
So which side am I going to be on? And will I understand and know what the changes are when they happen? And is it relevant to me? And should I include it in who I am? Because innovate or die.
Absolutely.
I had when you look at your telephones, oh my God, telephones, they change at the speed of thought. And if you have a phone that's outdated, you know what I mean, because all of the apps are changing and your phone can't even keep up with the technology if you don't have a phone that's current, because the systems can't even don't have the capacity.
So
to professionally, manage the apps.
We want you to be current. I always tell people, if you got to know, I'm listening from my father, but you've got to see, everybody's in the marketing business. People don't understand that, or in the sales, because you're either on in a corporation, there's two sides. Let's say let's assume you work for other people. There's sales. And if you're not in sales or in the revenue generation side of a business, or you're in support of that, right? And if that goes down, everything else is a cost. It's an expense. And so businesses cut expense. If you're on the wrong side of earnings per share, you're going to get cut.
Yes.
So you need to figure out where you are in the organization, and you need to be able to articulate your value or see the value that you in real dollars. Or what do I need to learn? So, and that makes you less fragile because because I can, I'm in financial services, right? So companies call me, this and that. We got office space. Listen, I don't need you. I know how to make it rain. I can generate, so the companies, I don't need a company or a commercial, so that puts me in a position because I'm the marketer. So professionally, you need to make yourself indispensable or a profit.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why, we have a couple of different, probably 7 different areas that we'll be talking about at the conference, because there is so much, Curtis, that we have to be able to assimilate into who we are becoming professionally.
Right.
And, and I think that this challenge is an everyday challenge for every day. It is something that all of us need to be able to embrace. And it's not easy because I like my comfort.
Right.
I want to stay.
But success lies outside of your comfort zone. So
it does.
You know what I mean? So you're not going to be anywhere. Comfort means you're a sitting duck. And
that's exactly right. And we want to be an eagle. We want to be an eagle. We could talk all day about the different birds, but you've never had eagle for Thanksgiving dinner.
That's right.
But you've had duck.
That's right.
You've had turkey. You've had chicken.
And they treated the turkey real good till the day before Thanksgiving, right?
Exactly.
And you say, "Hey, I got it good here," and then you just wait and bought it. So tell them what type of, now everybody doesn't need all of these things, right? And so, but what happens is there's going to be all of you are in a different place. So Janice, talk to them a little bit about some of the topics or the speakers that are maybe the topic. Well, whoever you want that are going to be covered, so they'll kind of know who this is for.
Okay, well, it is geared toward entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals.
Okay.
And we're focusing on some areas, finance being one, and you will speak to that area, and you'll go there and you'll stand on that stage and you'll blow everybody's mind with your expertise, letting them know that they should be thinking and moving, not just, this is not to generate thought. This is not a thought-provoking conference. This is an action-provoking conference. This is a conference that's going to instigate change.
Right.
So that's what we're looking for. We're going to talk about nutrition and why it's important and how to see your body. And we have Kelly Burgess, who is an awesome dynamic professional certified nutritionist. And she has a huge practice in New Jersey. And she's going to be just on the stage and we're all going to be like, all right, Kelly, okay. because she's just that. And then we have Eloise Young, who is the Vice President of Strategic Planning and Information Services at Philadelphia Gas Works. And she and I have known each other for, over 30 years. Mm-hmm. And Eloise, we'll talk about her career. I'm going to be doing an intense interview with her, and we're going to be talking about her career. We're going to be talking about the innovations that PGW is bringing into how they service the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. We're going to be talking about that, and she's just going to give us some insights into information technology, and it's just going to be a dynamic thing. She's really in the forefront of what's going on in IT in the city. And then also as a professional and as a woman, she has been lauded for her leadership. And she's a wonderful person. So we'll get an opportunity to talk to her or to hear her talk and to talk to her.
Okay.
Dr. Joanne White, who is a professional speaker. She's a psychologist, professional psychologist. And then also she just has this way of integrating life systems into how we work and how to get the best out of who we are. And Joanne is so awesome. You're going to love her. She's going to bring such a freshness to the platform. And then we have Alex Carroll, who he is a dynamic young man. And one of the reasons why I love Alex is because he is actually a client of mine initially, and I just have an affinity for him because he took on such a stance with his career. So he's going to be talking about a couple of things, a lot of which is around career strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And networking. And he ran such a campaign, a networking campaign that's just unbelievable. And he said to me, network or not work.
Wow. That's profound.
I know, right? And
that's
I thought, wow, and then it is very profound.
Mm-hmm.
And so then to top it off with that, he's also a healthcare executive. And then a military pilot. And, so you're going to get the trifecta of Alex Carroll when we see him on the stage. And then we have a panel. The panel is about marketing. So relate or release. Relate or release, relate or relinquish. And we have 3 marketing professionals coming from different aspects of marketing. So we have the social media marketing, then we have the emotional connections marketing with one of the marketing directors for Chick-fil-A is going to be there. The social media marketing is David Simmons. He is president of Kingdom Social Media. He's going to be there. He's a dynamic gentleman. You know David?
David's a client.
Oh, there you go. Well, see, there you go. Then you have Lynn Woodson, who is the marketing director and part of the national grand opening team for Chick-fil-A, marketing director at the East Norriton store. But you want to talk about social, not social, you want to talk about emotional connection marketing. He is phenomenal with just driving.
Lim is single-handedly responsible for me being the database marketing nut that I am.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
you go.
And I met him in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm. And he has not stopped. That's what he does. And then
like 12 or 13.
We have Matt. Right. And then we have
we
Matt
were all
Cavery,
in middle school, right? So
right, exactly. So and when we grow up, we'll let you know.
That's right.
And Matt Cavery, he is the executive director of Select Greater Philadelphia, which is the marketing arm. Select Greater Philadelphia is one of the proponents of marketing for the Greater Philadelphia region. So Matt's responsibility is to be not even in the community, but nationally being present to let people know why they should come to the Greater Philadelphia and build their businesses. Why should they move their home offices? So he is in that space where he is attracting.
Yeah, attracting.
Yes.
Yeah, the city.
He's selling the city. Mm-hmm. And so you have these three professionals and experts in their own space being on a panel led by Angela Harris, who is I just love Angela. She is such an awesome person. She is innovative in and of herself in that she is a professional project manager. She's a master's degree. She's a graduate of Drexel twice. And she is also the founder of Women in Technology. And she has even spearheaded her own foundation, and she's giving scholarships and awards to women in the technology space. And Angela is going to bring just a power-packed program as far as the panel is concerned and lead us into this great discussion about marketing and about, relating or relinquishing. And so that's the group. We have a great lineup, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's hot. Y'all are going to learn a lot. And so you want to make sure that you're in-house. So if you're hearing this, so you'll have 2 weeks, act on this, and you can fly in. There's plenty of good airfare to Philly. But if you're in like a 3-hour drive, 4-hour driving range of
right,
Philly,
exactly,
you can be here. Okay. And
yes, absolutely.
Because I can trace direct revenue just because sometimes, guys, you got to pay to be in the right room. Okay. Someone's telling them about that and where they can get tickets from, but you got to be in the right room of people that take their business seriously. What is it?
Yeah.
Network or not work. And so you've got to invest in your mindset, which we talked about, your skill set, marketing, the different things that we're talking about, professional development, and your network. So this will allow you to do all three, bring some business cards, right? And
absolutely
what you're doing. So let me tell you all how to network. Y'all know how to network. Don't just run around and give out cards. Okay. When I go to networking events, I am not looking for clients, because you don't go to networking events to sell anything, because nobody's there to buy anything. You're there looking for strategic alliances. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to be thinking, what do you do? And you want to, it's like the go-giver mentality. How can I be of service to you? Right. And then the law of reciprocation will kick in. So you want to be looking for ways to, hey, how, who's my ideal client, and who here works with my ideal client, and how we can collaborate with. And if you'll go in thinking like that, you'll have a better outcome from the people that you meet.
Right. Exactly. So. In conjunction with network or not work. Also remember, your net work can determine your net worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have to be able to translate that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we have to be able to.
You have to do, and so now, so where is it? What time is it? And where do they go to get tickets?
Okay, so the event is on Friday, November the 16th, and registration starts at 7:45. The gavel goes down.
A.M.
So it's all day event. A.M.
Let's be clear.
Okay. Gavel goes down. Yes, gavel goes down at 8:30 a.m. and we're done at 4 p.m. And it's going to be at the beautiful, absolutely beautiful Kroc Center, which is at 1865 Harrison in Camden, New Jersey. Okay. And this facility is state of the art, and I just fell in love with it when I walked in. And I'm looking at the Olympic-sized swimming pool, and I looked at how immaculate it is, and just how well situated it is, and ample parking, so free parking, everybody.
That's awesome.
I just fell in love with this venue, and I said, this is where we have to be, because we're talking about innovate or die. Mm-hmm. Do something different. What can we leverage in our own communities and in different spaces? And everything doesn't have to be the same.
Right.
And so this building and this location is awesome. And then we have our lunch is being served by, you want to talk about more innovation? Our lunch is being served by Silver Diner. Fred, the managing director, is going to be putting together a spread for us, which is a part of your registration. Mm-hmm. And you will, and Kelly will love it. She's a nutritionist. She's going to love this food.
Okay.
and just, you will really enjoy it, and you will want to go back. And so we're going to have just an awesome time. So you can find a registration if you go to janicecoleman.com/BEF, janicecoleman.com/BEF. Which is Business Excellence Forum. You'll see our landing page. You will see the flyer. And then if you click anywhere on that page, it'll take you right to Eventbrite.
Okay. All right. So we're going to put that link, if you're listening to this, in the show notes, and you'll be able to click that and take you right there, or, pull over or get off the treadmill and go right down. Okay.
Exactly. And I can be reached at the 609-594-2244. 609-594-2244 if anybody has any questions.
And your email, if you want to.
conferences@janicecoleman.com.
All right. We will be in the house trying to, help people innovate on the financial side of it. So if you're hearing this voice and you've not come to any of my workshops, I would love to meet our listeners in person. So meet us there, and you'll see me. I'll be there all day, guys. I'll be there.
Awesome.
Taking notes. Okay. And making friends and, networking, because networking is what I do. Okay. And look for, good new people to interview. So, and that's another thing when I go to conference, I was like, oh, that's a good story. This is something I want to go deeper dive in with our listeners. So I absolutely just want to thank you for taking the time and sharing with our listeners this morning as we record this.
Thank you so much, Curtis. I greatly appreciate it. So just as I would ask the audience and ask your listeners to think about what's an innovation jam. It's the new, it's the next, it's the now. So if you want to reach your ideal clients and customers, supercharge your finances, leverage your networking, dominate your space, you need to be with us on November the 16th.
And with that, I don't have anything else to say. We are out. Folks, thank you for listening to another episode of the Practical Wealth Show. And you all have a great and prosperous day.
Thanks for listening to Practical Wealth. To access the show notes and resources, go to practicalwealthshow.com. To get your questions on the show, go to practicalwealthshow.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any investment decisions, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Practical Wealth. Written permission must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting.